Session here soon. For some, they already started, and that means more school buses on area roadways. Of course, safety is top of mind. We want everyone to get to and from school safely. So to help us break down some of the rules of the road when it comes to traveling alongside a school bus, we've got Lieutenant Timothy Hoffman here with Ohio State Highway Patrol. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, you're welcome. Good morning.
We appreciate it. Good morning. So we know there are some staggering statistics. I believe over 6,000 crashes since 2020 involving a school bus here in Ohio. Just kind of talk about what's going through your mind when you hear that number.
Yeah, sure. So, as students across the state prepare to head back to school, we want everyone to do their part to help protect our kids. It's important that drivers learn the laws around stop school buses. For example, when a school bus is stopped with the red lights flashing and the stop sign out, all traffic has to stop at least 10 feet from the bus. Now, that includes traffic going in both directions if it's a roadway with 2 or 3 lanes. If you've got a roadway with 4 lanes or some type of median, well, then it's just traffic going the same way as the bus.
Gotcha.
But it's not just about avoiding a ticket. It's about safety.
Yeah.
There are other things that the State Patrol does to make the school safe, like every school bus has an inspection twice a year that's done by the State Patrol. And we've done many of these here in Cuyahoga County alone. So we just want everyone to slow down in school zones, stay alert, avoid distractions, always yield to pedestrians. And we use the 3 drives: drive smart, drive safe, and obey the speed limit.
And talk about just some of those distractions that you're seeing, especially with lots of drivers out there, and there's going to be so many more cars out on the roadway now.
Yeah, so a distraction can be anything from trying to eat, trying to do your makeup, trying to get your hair done, or it could be on the phone, which is what people primarily think of and what we see a lot of. And we've got some very specific laws to that are even more specific for kids that are driving. Student drivers aren't allowed to use their phone anywhere while driving.
And I mean, I'm not a parent, but I do have nieces and nephews that stand out at school bus stops, and it can be very triggering when you see a car just pass a school bus because they don't understand, the laws of that, and they do vary from state to state. So just talk about kind of what you guys are hoping for this year when it comes to school bus safety.
What we're hoping for is that everyone just uses patience.
Yeah.
Give yourself more time when you leave in the morning. You see that big yellow bus, it should get your attention right away. A lot of them have like a flashing white light on the top. That'll get your attention. That should just make you stop, pause for a second, realize that wherever you're getting to isn't more important than a child's life.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Slow down a little bit, take and be a little more patient around those school buses and around those bus stops so everyone can get there safe.
And one thing I do want to dive into real quick is when there's a turn lane. So it's a 2-lane road with a turn lane in the middle. I know I was talking with Matt earlier, who has kids that also stand at the school bus, but just talk about what you're supposed to do when it's a 2-lane road, a turn lane in the middle, so it kind of looks like 3 lanes, but it's not.
Yeah, so 3 lanes, everyone has to stop.
Yeah.
Whether that's a turn lane or that's 2 lanes one direction, one the other, everyone has to stop. Now remember, you have to stop 10 feet from the bus. So if you're going towards the bus, you need to try and stop 10 feet from the front of that bus. If you see those red lights flashing, you see the stop sign out, you see kids getting on or off the bus, those are all warning signs to you that you should be stopped. Stop safely and then remain stopped until you see the stop sign go back in, the red lights go off, or the bus driver gives you some kind of indication that it's okay to go.
And let's talk about the penalties here for someone who fails to stop or even just blatantly passes a school bus while it's stopped, waiting for kids to get on.
Yeah, so it's a traffic violation like any other traffic violation. It is a 4th-degree misdemeanor in Ohio, which you could go to jail for it. We also have a system where bus drivers can actually report the violations to us. So even if a law enforcement officer doesn't witness the violation, if a bus driver sees somebody pass their bus and they get the license plate, they can report that to the State Patrol or any law enforcement agency, in the area with jurisdiction. And if we can determine who was driving, we can give you a ticket that way too.
By reading just the license plate. Are there cameras on school buses that could catch someone going around them?
There are. I don't know that every school bus has a camera, but there are definitely cameras on school buses. In fact, we get a lot of reports of passing stopped school buses. That's what we call it. We get a lot of reports of those where the school actually sends us the cameras, the picture of the car. Sometimes you can even see the driver's face as it's passing this bus.
It's that clear.
You can see the stop sign out, the driver's face, and sometimes the license plate. And, it just makes it cut and dry for us to go out, and unfortunately people do make mistakes, and, in those situations, hopefully no one gets hurt, and we just catch that driver, correct behavior, and they're safer next time.
Yeah, and I like what you said there at the beginning. It's not just about getting a ticket or a citation. It's more so just about keeping our students safe.
Yes.
All right, Lieutenant Hoffman with Ohio State Highway Patrol. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and for helping to break all that down.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yep.